अजनबी हम भी है तुम भी हो, ये रातें भी हैं, जाने पहचाने से यूं लगते बातें क्यों है। अजनबी हम भी है तुम भी हो, ये रातें भी हैं, जाने पहचाने से यूं लगते बातें क्यों है। हम तो नजरों के पलकों पे यूं घायल है, लब पे लफ्जों का ये पहरा क्यों है।
ગુજરાતી મિડ-ડે ડોટ કોમ સાથે આજે છે પંડિત હરિહરન અને પંડિત બિક્રમ ઘોષ, બહુ જ સરસ કલાકારો, અને એમની સાથે આજે વાત કરીશું એમના એક નવા વેન્ચર વિશે, પ્રેમના ગીતો પ્રેમની વાતો. Please tell us about this interesting venture that you decided to build, because I think एक पुराने फ्लेवर का जो एक संगीत था वो आप इसके साथ हमारे पास वापस ला रहे हैं.
तो ये स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट बिक्रम जी से हुआ, तो बताएं आप.
हरि जी और मैंने एक एल्बम किया था 2.5 years back called Ishq, and Ishq did very well. We did that in the pandemic, and after the success of that album we were thinking कि कैसे इसको आगे बढ़ाया जाए. How can we do something even more interesting? How can we utilize our chemistry, our kind of zone of sound? See, the idea is there's nothing that's old or new. Everything has been there. It's a matter of discovering and matter of how people perceive it. The idea with the kind of music that we are doing together is that it's definitely a big plus for good melody, a big plus for good lyrics, definitely and obviously great singing, and some very good instrumentation, you know. So kya hai ki we want to bring in the sounds of live instruments once more to the foreground, you know,
Yes.
which has kind of taken a backseat in recent years, that, you know, there's a lot of programming happening and less of live instrumentation. But with our work, we like to keep the live right up there in front, because all those musicians, fantastic artists, beautiful instruments, which are part and parcel of the Indian history, sound, psyche, what have you, you know. And we want to bring that into the foreground. And we both believe that with that kind of instrumentation, there are a lot of energies that come. Those great artists bring great energies, and that when it supplements a project, it straight away hits your heart. That's why a lot of people keep saying, you know, पुराने ज़माने के जो sound था, जो it's all about melody, lyrics and instrumentation. End of the day.
क्या है कि ये सारी जब चीज़ें मिलती हैं, मनमर्जी has songs where there is, in Hindi you call it गूंज.
गूंज, जी बिल्कुल सही.
Ghosh, vibration. It happens when you use real instruments, because that sound is not squeezed. It's the way it sounds.
Should be.
It's a natural sound, you know.
Natural
Pure
resonance
form,
होता है.
उसका जो pure form होता
Yeah.
है. हाँ.
And when the composition complements it, and the singer also complements it, that vibration becomes more and more. So this, like, Manmarzee is a chill pill.
True.
You just listen to it and you're on your voyage for the next 45 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's what has been created, and it goes to meaningful lyrics, beautiful composition, sounds, Ghana. It's just a total package, I would say.
ये जब क्रिएट हो रहा था, जब उसके गाने लिखे जा रहे थे, जब उसका संगीत बन रहा था, जब उसके गाने आप गा रहे थे, कैसा प्रोसेस था आपके लिए? आपको क्या फील हुआ? बिकॉज सी यू बोथ हैव सीन द चेंजेस. लाइक अब टेक्नोलॉजी की वजह से इतनी सारी चीज़ें आसान हो गई हैं. एक ज़माने में ऑफ कोर्स रियाज करने वाले आज भी रियाज करते हैं, लेकिन एक जो मेहनत मशक्क़त लगती थी पहले. व्हाट वाज योर एक्सपीरियंस ऑफ क्रिएटिंग दिस?
एक बात है, टेक्नोलॉजी या डिजिटल इन इट्स वेरी हाई लेवल बहुत मुश्किल है. उसमें जानकार की बहुत ज़रूरत है और रियाज की भी ज़रूरत है.
एक मीन का भी फर्क पड़ जाएगा तो.
हाँ, नहीं वो प्रोग्रामिंग है ना. इट्स अमेजिंग थिंग इफ यू नो द आर्ट. वो गाने को यहाँ से यूं करके ले जाता है, दैट इज देयर.
या
बट मनमर्जी का कॉन्सेप्ट ही अलग है. द सोल है ना.
जी
बिल्कुल.
Yeah.
See, programming, of course, is there in the album. I mean, you can't do without it now. But it kind of holds the project together. But the focal points are the instruments. Besides, obviously, the singing is the main area, but the instruments are also focal points.
And what was your experience of, working again with those instruments?
See, the idea
on a
is,
large scale.
let's understand one thing, that we are two artists living in two different cities. Pehle, let us get that right.
Let's start from there.
Yeah. So, obviously, technology
Helped.
has to help. So, the simple way to do it is, I create something, I send the file to Hariji, we get on a video call or an audio call, we have a conversation, and Hariji records it in his own way. He owns the song at that point. It becomes his song. He does whatever he likes to do with it. Then he sends it to me. I take it to my studio. I listen to his singing, and then I go backwards. कि अभी इन्होंने इस जगह को ऐसे गा दिया, तो इसके साथ शायद ये लाइन नहीं जाएगा अभी. तो वो एक organic process है. It's a reactionary process. I give him something, he reacts. I get what he gives, I react. This takes a few times of back and forth, And then this time around, at some point, I came to Bombay, and we worked together in Hariji's studio. There's his wonderful assistants, there's Saibu, there's Bijin, and they help out with the technology part of it, the recording, mixing का भी थोड़ा इधर-उधर हम लोग कर लेते हैं. And then we discuss, and then we bash it out, so to say, Hariji कभी बोलते हैं कि यार इस जगह तूने ऐसे किया, but maybe ऐसा करता हूँ, हाँ, इसको एक octave ऊंचा ले जाते हैं.
Yeah,
interesting.
I remember.
In fact, we have to mention Hariji's wife, Lalita ji, Didi, I call her. She had a very interesting observation about the Qawwali song.
Yes.
And she said, यार इसको एक कोई point पे एक octave उठा दो. I said, अच्छा. So Hariji and I were both sitting saying, what do you mean? So she said, it might. So then he said, अरे ये अच्छा. मैं देखता हूँ तो करके 1200 ऊपर करके हरीजी सिंह, हाँ मेरा तो आवाज जा रहा है.
Wow.
So we actually take the song and throw it up one full octave at one point. It really works.
Yeah, it worked.
It really works, and it just gives it that. See, the interesting part is आजकल बहुत सारे गाने, and Hariji keeps saying this, and I also, purposely I create the songs like that. So most of the songs are being made in the higher octave today. सब ऊंचा गा रहे हैं.
ऊंचा गाते हैं क्योंकि जो भी लड़के ऊंचे गाते हैं, लेडीज सिंग लो इन देयर नॉर्मल ऑक्टेव. सो दैट इज साउंड स्केप. दैट इज अ साउंड स्केप. हर गाना वहाँ अच्छा नहीं लगता है. कुछ गाने बहुत अच्छा लगता है.
टिम्बर है
वहीं पर होना चाहिए.
He's got this amazing timbre. Of course he can sing, that range is there. But the timbre is so masculine, and I use this very consciously because you need that yin and yang in a song. And when he sings Ajnabi, da 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 da, यहाँ गा रहे हैं, da da da, it's so low and it goes in that zone, in that octave for a while until the antara it doesn't go up. Oh, that is consciously done because
तो सस्टेन करना उसको, खर्च को सस्टेन करना, वो उसमें मेहनत लगती है.
And very few singers can do it. So मेरे पास हरीजी है, तो मैं अपना जितना एक्सपेरिमेंटेशन है मैं तो डालूंगा उसमें.
हालांकि एक बार बोला था यार थोड़ा कुछ ऊंचा गाते हैं, बोला नहीं हरीजी आई वांट यू इन दिस जोन. He was
थोड़ा ऊंचा करे क्या ऐसे.
तार सप्तक में गाने वाले बहुत मिल जाएंगे, खरज और मंत्र में कहाँ मिलेंगे.
मैं ऊंचा बहुत गाना गाता हूँ. मैं सारे मेरे जो पॉपुलर गाने हैं सारे बहुत ऊंचे हैं. तो बट आई एम हैप्पी दैट I used to get that singing in my lower octaves मेरे गजल एल्बम्स में. मगर ये एल्बम से मुझे बहुत मजा आ रहा है क्योंकि
नहीं, एक इंटीमेसी आ जाता है उसमें. क्या होता है कि आप लगता है कि आप कान में जाके गा रहे हैं.
Just next to the
person. एक गाना था, it was a very beautiful song, simple song, 90s का गाना था. मेरे दिल में कितना पागल है, ऐसा. There was this song from, I think साजन का गाना था. हाँ. After a while, that song suddenly became a hit because it was totally in the lower octave, and it suddenly worked. I remember because we were young then, we were listening to the song. I had it in my head that I want to have this octave focused also. And Hariji and I have had that discussion that यार कभी आजकल कोई नहीं बनाता इस octave में गाना, सब ऊपर जाते हैं. Maybe it's an insecurity कि गाना को पहले ही वहाँ फेंकना है तो उसका पैशन लेवल ज्यादा होगा.
पहले ही बढ़ा दो.
What happens to the music that is intimate?
No, क्या है ना, there is a misconception of youth and octave.
Youth is not always high.
It's not high, man.
Of course.
That's loaded.
What has got youth to do with screaming your tonsils out?
You got me. You got me. Yes.
No, but that's the thing, you know. So
That's true.
there is this, you know, I think there is a form of music which you enjoy also alone. You don't have to dance to everything.
Again, you know, there is one thing important. Out of 10 songs which are releasing, 8 songs are anthemic songs. There is anthem in a song. It's hook lines
Hook
in
lines.
the third octave,
Yeah.
and that constitutes 60 or 70% of the song.
Yeah.
And that's group of just two voices. So it's a hook. Then there is another hook,
Yeah.
and then there's another
Hook
hook.
after hook.
Yeah, you're really
No, you
hooked.
said something good yesterday.
Yeah.
You said हम मछली है क्या? इतना hook से क्या होगा?
इतना सारा hook नहीं हो सकता.
जो है.
आप गाना गाइए तो हम हुक हो जाएंगे वैसे भी.
गाने से तो माहौल बनना
You
चाहिए
know,
ना.
I think what Manmarzee does is,
जी.
here are two artists who are not insecure, who are not looking to make this song which has to hook you every 30 seconds, you know.
नहीं हो सकता है. मतलब क्या जरूरत क्या है?
आप एंजॉय करो, बस उसका ठहराव लो, मजा लो उसका. और एक्साइटिंग भी गाने हैं, लाइक अजनबी इज ठहराव, देन हुस्न इज ब्लूज, इज जैज, यू नो. You have saxophones playing. It's kind of sensual, you know. All these energies are there.
आप एक सुर लगाएं आपने, तो सुर को let it
बहने
give it
दो,
time
हाँ.
for it time to travel and swell up and then create the mood in the atmosphere.
Exactly.
So beautiful, you know. I just want that you both should just keep talking to each other and I would just like to sit and listen to this.
Thank you.
It's beautiful. हम जब बात करें तो आपने कहा कि खरज की जो आपने बात कही कि you know आपने काफ़ी पॉपुलर गाने हैं जो आपने तार सप्तक
जी.
में गाए हैं और मंद्र और खरज में गाने का एक जो ये फिर से you know going back to it and giving time to it. So आप दोनों ने जब मनमर्जी पे काम किया तो आप दोनों ने एक दूसरे के साथ काम करके खुद में क्या पाया?
इनका कॉम्पोजिशन गा के मुझे अच्छा लगा, क्योंकि बहुत सारे गाने जब किशोरदा गाते थे या रफ़ी साहब गाते थे, उस टाइप के जो एक कॉन्सेप्ट है, शब्द, रंग, गायकी, करेक्ट ऑक्टेव, मुझे लगता था यार मुझे ये गाना मिलना चाहिए, बड़ा मज़ा आएगा गाने में. वो मज़ा आया ये कॉम्पोजिशंस में. आई वॉज एबल टू visit that zone.
That is the idyllic zone for us. You know,
हाँ,
we have
क्योंकि अब
seen that great.
हम
those
सोच ही
great
नहीं
singers,
सकते
great
कि ऐसे
music.
गाने बने. और हर गाना जो है ओरिजिनल है, ऐसा नहीं कि हम वो गाना गा रहे हैं. वो गाना तो वही गा सकते हैं. वो जो मैजिक है, जो ग्रेट सिंगर्स हैं वही गा सकते हैं. तो वो अपना तो ये जो है ना, अरे यार ये हमारा गाना है, मेरा गाना है ये.
So, and for me, seriously, it's only one word. What did I get from the project? I got Hariharan ji. I mean, can you even imagine? I mean, this
What
is so.
more?
So for me, now that we work a fair bit together, I keep telling Hariji that, see, Hariji, I want to create a body of work with you.
Correct.
Because for me, I don't know who I can get, even in the future, who will sing like Hariji sings. अब हरिजी के पास सब कुछ है. उनके गायकी में आप कोई भी गाना उनको दे दो, कोई भी, आप क्लासिकल दो, फनस्टर गाना दो, ब्लूज दो, कर्नाटिक स्टाइल दो, नॉर्थ इंडियन स्टाइल दो, कुछ भी दे दो, ही इज गोना नेल इट. फॉर मी, आई एम ऑल्सो एम्बिशियस इन माई कॉम्पोजिशंस.
Right.
I don't want to restrict my compositions क्योंकि मेरे पास तो वो सिंगर नहीं है. But when I have Hariji, I want to go all out, you know, and which is why there's a lot of hard work which goes in, because Hariji brings a certain standard to the table, which I also want to match. एक होता है ना, in artists, there is this, आपने इतना दिया, तो मुझे तो इतना देना ही है, इससे कम तो मैं नहीं दे सकता हूँ.
Matching the
So
level.
that
Yeah.
becomes a huge pleasure and an honor, really, because that it sets such a wonderful standard to the project, you know. तो अभी ये है कि I seriously want to create a nice body of work with Hariji. I want to do all kinds. Why just, you know, these kind of songs? Even we are talking about maybe do an English song, you know, maybe do something which is Carnatic, you know, and produce it in a very interesting way. So all of it, today music has become far more widespread than before. It's not only restricted to those 4 romantic situations, you know.
और लोग सुनते हैं,
हाँ,
ये देखा हूँ मैं, मतलब अरे 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 ऐसे बनाओ यार गाना, क्योंकि पब्लिक का समझ नहीं है. अरे नहीं
Yesterday,
है.
I posted Manmarzee that we are coming out tomorrow with Manmarzee. There's an American lady on my social media. She lives in North Carolina or somewhere. Huh? She writes, I listen to Ishq on loop every day.
Wow.
I'm like, are you serious? It's a Hindi album. So this is the power of music, and which basically means that people are also becoming far more, open to listening to different sounds.
और गाने कैसे हैं ना, ऐसे बने हैं, and I also tried, कि आप सुनेंगे तो सरल लगता है. You would like to sing with it.
अरे जी, दो लाइन अजनबी का.
अजनबी हम भी है, तुम भी हो, ये रातें भी हैं, जाने पहचाने से यूं लगते, बातें क्यों है, अजनबी हम भी है, तुम भी हो, ये रातें भी हैं, जाने पहचाने से यूं लगते, बातें क्यों है, हम तो नजरों के पलकों पे यूं घायल है, लब पे लफ्जों का ये पहरा क्यों है, रात खुश चांद खुश मौसम खुशनुमा है, कर दो हाले दिल सोचे क्यों है.
Sorry, I got goosebumps. That is so beautiful.
It's such a sweet song,
Yeah.
and it's all in the same register. See, it doesn't meander.
It's there.
भाग रहा है, यहाँ जा रहा है,
It's
वहाँ जा रहा है.
there.
सा गा रे गा मा गा रे गा रे सा नी पा नी सा गा रे गा मा, यही चल रहा है. It's a drony song.
Yeah, true.
I wanted to ask you कि अब क्या हो रहा है कि social media is there and
Yes.
a lot of people are doing anything and everything. I think it was Andy Warhol's quote when he said that everybody will be famous for 15 minutes in future. I think that's where we are. तो ये बहुत सारा noise है, ऐसा मुझे लगता है. आपको क्या लगता है?
Noise तो है because platforms are there. Platforms में दो बातें हैं, एवे भी होते हैं गाने,
जी
मतलब
जी बिल्कुल.
एवे होते हैं, मीडियोकर होते हैं, कभी बोलता है यार क्यों गा रहे हैं ये सब, गाना क्यों है करके, बट अच्छे म्यूजिशियंस भी, उनको एक
Opportunity भी मिल रहा है.
अपॉर्चुनिटी मिलता है. ये अपने प्लेटफॉर्म से, टॉकिंग ऑफ रियलिटी शोज, अपॉर्चुनिटी मिलते बच्चों को, मगर उनको किस तरीके से ट्रेन करके आगे ले जाना है वो भी ज़रूरी है, वो नहीं होता.
वो नहीं हो रहा है.
बट द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ रियलिटी शो टू ब्रिंग समबडी ऑन दिस थिंग, अरे ऐसे गाते हैं बच्चे, अमेजिंग दे आर. और द बेस्ट थिंग इज वो गाने, हर गाना उनको मालूम नहीं है. नया गाना आज उनको मिलता है, उनको सीख के नेक्स्ट डे दे हैव टू सिंग, परफॉर्म फुल्ली करते हैं. इट्स अमेजिंग.
Oh, I think what you're asking is there is so much of clutter. How do you break the clutter? So the interesting thing is, now this is, at least for me and Hariji, I think this is the game changer. If you know your chops, if you have learned music and if you've practiced music, that is how you know how to break the clutter. अगर आपके पास वो विद्वत है,
ज़रूरी है वो,
तो आपको दिख जाएगा वो कैसे मैं यहाँ से निकालूं म्यूजिक को. दैट आई थिंक इज अ बिग लेसन फॉर द यंगर जनरेशन, दैट प्लीज लर्न, प्लीज प्रैक्टिस. डोंट जस्ट प्रैक्टिस अ बिट फॉर 6 months एंड देन मेक योर फर्स्ट इंस्टा वीडियो. उससे क्या हो जाएगा, योर लॉन्जिविटी इज कॉम्प्रोमाइज्ड. आई मीन हरिजी इज बिन देयर for so many decades. I've also been there for several decades. But touchwood, careers are going well. So it is because of the knowledge base that you can still give something new.
क्या होता है ना, हाउ डू यू गिव न्यू, इट हैज़ टू कम टू यू द थॉट प्रोसेस उस लेवल पे थ्रू आउट लाइफ रहने के लिए यू नीड द डाटा.
Very true.
है ना, तो तब जाके कुछ, एंड यू विल से वाओ व्हाट इज दैट, इट इज मैजिक. मैजिक नहीं, अंदर से कुछ आ रहा है बाहर. जो पकड़ा है इट जस्ट कम्स आउट.
It's been there. I mean, with all the experiences that you have had.
And sometimes we ourselves get surprised with some phrases we get. मतलब ये कैसा है यार, अच्छा है ये. like, so it happens. So give yourself a chance, a fair chance in life by learning music, learning the art and practicing it.
Ishq se Manmarzee. Can you tell me the first time that you met him? Yes.
First time was in the 90s sometime.
Yeah.
Maybe even the earlier part of the 90s, 94, 95 ऐसे. I think विश्वमोहन जी के साथ हम लोग थे तब कहीं बॉम्बे में कुछ शो था. I think he was singing after, before, ऐसा कुछ था. So we met there. But then over the years, we've done some concerts together.
Yes.
You know, we played, I remember 2010 we had done a tour, he, me and Shivamani in Royal Festival Hall, we had done a big show. Then we went food gallivanting.
Correct.
Food gallivanting, you know, and we ate some crazy, wonderful, I remember that. So
It binds you, huh?
it binds you.
When you're
Of
foodies.
course.
फूडीज एकदम
Always.
कहाँ जाएंगे? So वो कॉन्सर्ट के सुबह से क्या गाएंगे, क्या बजाएंगे
क्या
नहीं चल रहा.
खाएंगे?
यार रात को कहाँ जाएंगे? अब देख तो ये लंदन में जगह जगह क्या क्या जगह है यार. So we found a fantastic restaurant. In fact, Shivamani suggested it. But you know you had been there also.
suggested.
You had suggested. Huh? So there was a camaraderie. Then I always wanted him to see. I came quite late to song composition. You know, I spent a long part of my life playing with Ravi Shankar ji, playing tabla, and then I thought there was a detour at one point, you know, and then film composition and all this started quite late. I was in my 40s, you know, tab tak. And then when I started doing seriously, तब मुझे लगा कि मैं किन किन के साथ काम करना चाहता हूँ. Then हरि जी, तो I immediately I started जैसे बोलते हैं ना कोटिंग. I said, Hari ji, good morning. Hi, Hari ji, how are you doing? अरे कहाँ था? You know, so you know, slowly you make that
bond.
The right noises, you know.
Yes,
and then
the
he
right
said,
notes.
अच्छा भेजो तो क्या है? Then he liked it. So that's how it kind of happened online.
See, for musicians ना कैसा है, एक तो दोस्ती होना है जरूरी है. That happened, and when the composition is good, yeah, why not? Let's do it.
Yeah.
You know, simple as that.
And I think, you know, once Hariji started working with me, then we found a lot of commonality, you know, in terms of life philosophy.
Yeah.
I mean,
And even aesthetics.
aesthetics.
Yeah, aesthetics.
वो
बहुत matter करता है,
matter
बहुत
करता है,
matter
and
करता है.
it's very very common, and there's a lot of commonality in fact, मतलब, because I think the wonderful thing about any artist should be you learn, take that information and take it out there and spread it as much as you can.
Absolutely.
I think that's it. That's how we bond.
So now you know each other, you know, since many years. Tell me 3 things about Hariji that not many people know, and then it's your turn to tell something about him that not many people know, other than being foodies.
I think there's there's something very childlike about Hariji. Whether I mean, he will admit to it. Why not? But there's something very childlike, and he is moody. I know, but he doesn't show it to me. But he is moody. But I think I've cracked how to get him out of his zone. So if he's feeling a bit, you know,
ये
how,
छोटा भाई है ना. ठीक है.
मेरे को so that is one thing. He's very childlike, and I find that incredibly sweet about him. You know, I mean, he's got no sense of the fact that he's Hariharan. वो दिमाग में है ही नहीं वो. अरे यार चलते वो. It's like, you know, let's go to Disneyland today types. So,
Actually, you know, क्या होता है ना कि I always felt, you know, if you have all the hang-ups, you're the only person losing out in life.
yes, you lose out in life. That's the whole catch. Zindagi will pass you by then, you know. I think he's very faithful to friendship. I've seen that about him, not just with me, I've seen him with other people also, you know. He's solid there, very solid there. And he is incredibly open to both music and food. You know, why I say this is because to accept a culture,
Exactly.
you
That's
have
what I
to
was going
eat
to
that
say.
culture's food.
Yeah.
And he's very cool with that.
वो रंग जो है ना बहुत ज़रूरी है. When I was just entered the industry, तो पहले the first song I sang was a ghazal. अजीब सा नेहा मुझ पर गुजर गया यारो. तो I had gone to जयदेव जी. जयदेव जी बोले अच्छा है, you come from a good family, musical family. Your mother is a singer, father खान साहब के गुलाम मुस्तफा खान साहब के आप शागिर्द हैं, बहुत अच्छा है. एक अभी शुरू करो, उर्दू सीखो. तो उर्दू सीखा मैंने, and I learned it from a great person and a guru of my guru was Chand Bala, and her house was it was Lucknow in Churchgate.
Oh, nice.
You enter, suddenly it is about उसका गंदा
एक रिदम
हाँ ये
अलग
एकदम
सा
You know, that's
Slow.
so interesting actually. Because I have had the same kind of experience, you know. I used to go to a school called La Martine for Boys in Calcutta, which is a very, very high-end school where you only speak in English, and it's one of those.
kinds of
And in the
schools,
70s,
yeah.
when I was going to school, there was almost no Indian classical music in school. And I come from a family of musicians. So वहाँ जाते तो कुछ नहीं है. So we were doing all these covers. Bee Gees, Rolling Stones, Beatles covers करते थे, and I used to play conga. I used to get seriously rebuked at home for doing it. But वहाँ से मैं चल के I used to walk to बड़े गुलाम अली खान साहब's house, which was just 5 minutes walk from school, after school, because my mother used to learn from his son Munawar Ali Khan Sahab. And from, you know, close your eyes and let me kiss you, tomorrow I miss you, I'm going, किनारे किनारे किनारे. ऐसा juxtaposition था वो.
Absolutely.
It just creates a headspace for you, you know.
Wow.
One thing, I mean, I'm just in awe of his energy. Oh my God, the amount of work he does, the amount of detailing he does. Ceaselessly he'll work, and it'll be the same level of delivering. There's no shortfall. That's amazing. He'll be tired, he won't show it. He's charged. It has inspired me.
Oh, thank you.
It has inspired me. And I'm a little laid back, kind of. You know how it is, not like. So, but I've always seen him, and we did a lot of jamming in our shows and all that. And believe me, I mean, I'm so comfortable with him, and when we do Laikari and things like that, it's beautiful. It's very natural. It's very natural. It's just
like that show in Dubai last that we did.
Exactly.
ऐसे ही seamless.
Dubai, and also the first show we did in Calcutta.
Calcutta.
After Ishq.
Yes.
That was, the sound was,
True.
Yeah. So it's beautiful. Abhi hum log I'm doing a Khayal concert. Bikram is going to play with me, and after that, the same concert we go into Ragdhari Ghazal, and then we go into Thumris.
Oh my God.
So it's going to be It's going to be a different.
Beautiful.
So then we become different people then, you know.
Ah.
Now in
course.
Manmarzee there's one
It's a
kind of thing, then we go into another zone.
तो समा हर संगीत का अलग बनता है. So
Or he has done awesome work in Bengali. He's done 50 odd films, more than 50, and उसके सारे सुपर हिट गाने हैं. अच्छा, उसका कोई भी इनके अंदर वो नहीं है कि मैं म्यूजिक डायरेक्टर हूँ, कभी नहीं है. He's very
कोई हुआ ही नहीं है अभी तक. क्या है?
मतलब you're
Seriously,
cool.
that's the modesty.
You're cool about it, and he's an actor, and जो दिल में है बोल देगा. Very, very straightforward, and which is beautiful. That is how one should be, and that is how you have long relationships.
Correct. Honesty is basic precept.
That was lovely talking to both of you. But
Yes.
before I let you go, two things. You have been friends, music partners since many
Dada-Bhai.
years. Bhai, yes.
Elder brother, younger brother.
Elder brother, younger brother, Dada-Bhai. So एक सवाल जो आप उनसे करना चाहते हैं लेकिन काम में रह गया. एक सवाल जो आप उनसे पूछना चाहते हैं लेकिन वक्त नहीं मिला. That's your thing.
I want to take you to a eye store. Frames. कुछ आपके लिए लूँगा मैं.
अरे
अपने टेस्ट का.
Wow.
Sweet. So you got a gift.
Amazing.
I
Not
want
a
to
question.
see you the way.
You want to see
Yeah.
क्या होगा?
Yes.
Hariji's
This
glasses collection आप देखेंगे. My goodness, suitcase after suitcase. ये. It's like you've entered an optician's, store. When are you taking your flat in Calcutta? I've been at him for some years now. Because, see, I often miss him.
I know.
तो मैं फोन लगा लेता हूँ तो हरी जी क्या हो रहा है, क्या चल रहा है. Anyway, मतलब
yeah,
just
of course.
So sometimes I think, if he was around
What
the corner,
if he was here?
I just go, Hariji, I'm just coming down,
Yeah,
Just-
friendship, like meet to people.
So, and I think, Calcutta has got this, as he said, he's laid back. And Calcutta is a
Calcutta
laid back
is
city.
a laid back
पूरा
city,
एकदम.
for
He will
sure.
love it, थोड़ा mood में बाहर से पेड़ का हवा दे रहा है. So I think that would be nice to have him in Calcutta.
I mean,
Why not?
So before you both go, can you just sing something for us? Can you?
हुस्न की ये चाह में, मधोशी की बाह में, होश खोने दे, होश खोने दे, बाली उम्र की सयानी, हुस्न परी वो दीवानी, बाली उम्र की सयानी, हुस्न परी वो दीवानी, हुस्न हसी हुस्न जवां, हुस्न बिना है सोनी जहां, हुस्न पीने दे, हुस्न पीने दे. Thank you.
Thank you. It was lovely talking to both of you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Great
very
questions.
much.
We enjoyed the interview.
Thank you.